So something that a lot of people wonder about is soul contracts. There are soul ties. There's all kinds of different things that play a role in what we're doing here and part of our purpose and the people that we connect with them. Why do we connect with them? Why do we feel like some people we're just drawn to, or we have this connection that's almost immediate and you can't explain? So let's talk about soul contracts and let's talk about soul ties. So these are very, very different things, and I want to explain it kind of like this. So if this is your soul, first you have to understand the differentiation between a soul, spirit, right? What's your spirit? What's your mind, body, spirit, or mind, body, soul? So your soul is an individuated piece of the great spirit. Let's think about God, universe, source, creation, spirit, whatever it is, it's all up here. Now I am spirit and you are spirit. My daughter Ava, even though she's not in the body, she is spirit. The only difference between her and I is she is not in a body and I am, because I'm fulfilling a role. I have a purpose. I'm playing a part in this great awakening or this moment in time and serving different people that I have soul contracts with. Now, because I am an individuated soul, sometimes we talked about this before, I'm a creator of my own world, but other people's creations impact mine. So other people's energy impact mine. So if this is mine, let's say, and this is Ava's, Ava wants to be used as the example. So if this is my energy, my soul, my individuated soul, and this is Ava's, this is my dad's, and this is my mom's, and this is this person, this is my ex-husband's, these are my children's, all over here. They're all little balls. So when we have soul contracts, oftentimes what will happen is we think our energy is supposed to go like this, like the on the Olympics where they have the circles that intertwine. It's technically supposed to be like this, circles, individuated circles. So I am great spirit up here. I am spirit, no matter which way you cut it, whether I'm in the body, out of the body, sleeping, awake, I am spirit. And I am always connected to all that is in those spiritual realms. Now, the great spirit, which is one, which is everybody and everything in consciousness, we each are an individuated piece of consciousness with a very specific journey, very specific relationships, very specific gifts, very specific paths that we have lived. There is no one who has lived your life. No one. There might be people who can understand different pieces and facets of it, but no one knows the experience of your life and your soul but you. And the reason why that's so important is that's because your piece is powerful. It's important in the great spirit. Otherwise, you would not be here. You would not be an individuated soul if that were not the case. A soul tie is like an energetic cord that goes from me to somebody else. So let's take my oldest daughter who's living. There might be a soul tie there. So it's a cord of energy. Think about it about two things wrapping together and tying together. Unhealthy soul ties and healthy soul ties. There are positive soul ties and there are negative soul ties. Soul ties can serve a purpose, but they can also drag us off our path, confuse us, put energy into our field or into our house of self that is not actually ours, nor ours to process, nor our karma. So a soul tie is created when we have intense focus on someone and there is emotion behind it, intention, visualization, and thoughts surrounding it. So it's all those things all wrapped up into one. When we focus on somebody, remember how we talked about your thoughts are outside of you, and when you think of thought about something or someone, it goes directly to that person. So soul ties are the same. Some people create soul ties with other people intentionally. Most people, it is completely unintentional because they are unaware of how energy and thought form works. So, really good indicator that you have an unhealthy soul tie. Here's the markers. You suddenly can't stop thinking about somebody that has nothing to do with what you're doing, what you're going about in your daily life. You cannot explain it. And it's like you can't think because other thoughts are bombarding you. That's an indicator of an unhealthy soul tie, an energetic layering or transference that's happening to you that is not yours. It will usually be associated with a very specific person as well. It may be somebody from your past. It may be somebody you've just met. Be highly aware when you engage with people what your senses are telling you about it. So always an indicator. Your thought processes are kind of confused. You feel disconnected from God, universe, spirit, creator, and your loved ones. Usually that's because somebody has a soul tie with you where they're projecting energy through the tie. Most of us are unaware that this exists or we even have that. So if you're wondering why things are coming up or breaking energy cords and people always come back, a soul tie is super important to understand. Technically, we do not need a soul tie with anyone, ever. I do not need a soul tie or to create a soul tie with you because I am an individuated soul, which is part of the great spirit. So we all think, oh, I need this person and I need that person and there's codependency and I need to fix this person or help this person. Guess what? You actually don't. What you need to do is have a clear vessel to bring down the great spirit channel. That's your passed on loved ones. That's your guides. That's your angels. That's just your channeled information from ascended masters. Somebody here is going to be channeling ascended masters like nobody's business. It's part of your purpose and your role. Do not be afraid of that. Do not be afraid to step into that, I'm hearing. So if I have soul ties, it blocks and disconnects my clarity with the great spirit where all of consciousness resides. I do not need to have a soul tie with you here. My general rule is if it comes to me, then that is a message to be relayed. I do not go out and look for information about people ever. It is not okay to do that. It is mucking with the energetic systems. Every energetic action that you take has a result or a consequence, whether it's positive or it's negative. There is a ripple effect to everything you think, everything you do, everything you feel. Imagine that. And that's because your soul is connected to the great spirit of consciousness and experience. That's the entire collective. So when people are creating soul ties with you, you're going to feel like you can't think properly. They just keep coming into your mind. Sometimes you can't hold a train of thought. You keep forgetting what it is you're thinking about or talking about. I'm supposed to tell somebody on here, it's important for you to know that sometimes when that happens, you're actually being protected so that your consciousness is not pulled by someone else. That's a much deeper conversation. Most people, it is unintentional. They have no idea this is the impact of their energy. They're stuck in their cycles. It is not intentional at all. So I'm asking you to have grace when you become aware of a soul tie or something of that effect. Just remove it, transmute it with light. Your intention to remove it is all that is needed. Calling in your divine power, your divine wisdom, all of those things allows you to easily and effortlessly, I'm hearing your team will cut it for you. All you got to do is call. All you have to do is call. That is something that's very powerful for you to know. Often I look at soul ties as very unhealthy, no matter whether it's positive or negative, because they're not necessary and they're not needed. A transference of energy happens between soul ties, whether it's positive or negative. If something takes away from your energy, makes you feel disconnected, if someone makes you feel, I want to say bogged down or confused, or there's like a dark curtain. Sometimes some of you might see a dark curtain. I don't know why they're showing me it like that, but it's almost like the more references I can give you, the easier it is for you to say, oh, I saw this and that's what it means, right? Sometimes you'll sense someone in your energy field. So when we go through the 7 layers, clearing the layers of your energy, you can actually see who's created a soul tie when you do that exercise and that guided connection. So you can sense these things on your own, but you can't sense them if you're not aware that they exist in order to sense them. And how do you clear something that you're not even aware of that happens? That is the way that it works, my friends. So soul ties are often from relationships that we have with people. Sometimes they're created, whether it's a spousal relationship, an intimate one. Sometimes we have them with our children. Sometimes we have them with peers and coworkers. Sometimes we have them with bosses. Sometimes we have them with extended family members. It doesn't have to be somebody that you've engaged with on an everyday basis. I've had people I don't even know attempt to create soul ties with me that I have had to consistently clear. I've had people that I haven't spoken to in a decade also doing the same thing. But that's because the moment something moves into my energy or projects towards me, I have an awareness of it so that I can put a shield up or clear it or transmute it. You have this power as well. It is simply about opening your senses and honing them in order to remove it. You are the most powerful when you are in your most intuitive self. That's the most empowered that you are, because that is an innate piece of you. Being aware of what a soul tie is and what that looks like helps you to have the awareness to remove it. That's just a little bit on soul ties. If you would like to talk about that, your questions are very relevant. Somebody else has the same question, and your question will actually lead to greater knowledge coming down from spirit for you and for all of us.